All right, so you want to talk about purity, and I think that's a major subject, and happens to be a major issue for many people. And as far as sexual purity, that's a major one. But also as far as just even purity of faith, fidelity we have with God or not, or lack thereof, has been a major issue all throughout history, throughout my life as well, my own history, and struggling with that, whether it's sexual purity or even just purity of faith. Not being prone to the love of the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life. All those kind of things are things that are completely counter to fidelity with our faith in God, our covenant relationship that we have in God. And God He is deserving, completely worthy of our utmost devotion and fidelity to Him. And so even sexual purity is a major part of that as well. It's not limited to that, but sexual purity happens to be a major, major issue for many people. And I remember being really impacted by my good brother Dean, who lived a homosexual lifestyle for 50 years, and all his life, basically, since he was a young kid. And so deep bondage, so deeply entrenched in that whole lifestyle. And God just delivered him from that. He repented from that, and he joined our church for many years. He drove all the way out from Santa Ana to fellowship with us for several years. And we were so affected by the way he just repented from the lifestyle. Of course, he was enabled by God. Only God can deliver us from that kind of bondage, or any bondage, really. But he was definitely in heavy bondage, and he never looked back. He never was in halfway or dabbling. He never was making excuses of, I'm still kind of slipping up here. No, he just repented and didn't look back, didn't make any excuses. And it was then that I said to myself, well, if he has no excuses, then what's mine? And that's when Celeste and I were not married yet. We were not, we had a marriage type commitment, but not fully married properly yet. She still lived on the other side of the Pacific Ocean in Hong Kong. And so I called her up at that point, after having this kind of this realization that there really isn't any excuses for, maintaining, or lack of sexual purity. So that was when I called Celeste up and I said, look, I'm not going to come out there to see you in person until we're properly married. And I didn't know how long it was going to take for us to actually, pull it together to where we could actually be properly married. But it took 2 years. I stuck by that. I didn't see her in person until 2 years later, when we were actually able to be properly married. And so that's my story. And it started out, the fruit of that was really, it started out with just being impacted by a new believer, who just repented with no excuses, didn't look back from major bondage there of sexual purity, of sexual bondage there, and just by following God and being delivered by God and cooperating with the way God was working in his life, he was just walking in purity with the Lord. And so that, of course, sexual purity is then going to, when we really repent from that, it's going to play out in the rest of our faith, and how our faith is pure. And so that definitely opened the way for us to really, have a higher level of purity and faith as well.